Hi again, Josh here with northernfrogger. Today's video is going to be another build video. I'm actually going to be working on two of these tanks, not a full build, but just kind of revamping both of these guys. They're both empty right now. Um, this one is not going to be much done to it. I'm just going to finally install the glass top and mister nozzle in here so I can get it on the auto mister and basically replant it, and this one's going to be good to go. This one's a little more involved. It's going to get a glass top too. It does have like the Exo-Terra background that comes with these tanks still in it, which I don't really like. The frogs can actually get in behind them and down into those cracks and stuff. And so I'm going to be pulling that background out, putting a new background in this one, and replanting this one too, as well as the glass top and Mr. Nozzle on this one. So I'm going to pull these off of the shelf here, get them on the workbench, and basically silicone the tops in today. Let those cure for 24 hours, and I'll have to come back another day and finish up with the rest of the stuff. Just going to pull off this old top. Lots of moss and stuff growing in there that I want to try and save. I'm probably going to add some new soil to the bottom and stuff, and then replant it, but other than that, this one's not going to change very much. It does still have these tabs on here from where the old top clipped on. So first thing I'm going to do is cut these tabs out, clean that off really well, give it a good surface for the silicone to stick to. I'm just using a pair of side cutters here. I'm just going to try and cut in as close as possible to the edge. I'm just going to wipe down the inside of this ledge here. Just want a fairly clean surface for that silicone. I'm just going to test fit it again quickly. Still seems to be a high spot right there. There we go. So now it should sit in there nice and flat. There we go. Let's give that a quick clean, get the dust off of there. Still dusty from the glass shop. And there's still a bit of a wobble there. There's a high spot right there, but that's going to be close enough for what I need. And for silicone, I'm going to use this stuff. You can see that, Home Builder silicone. You get this stuff from Home Hardware if you're in Canada. This one says right on the front there, safe for aquariums. It's one of the only ones I found that actually says that at a reasonable price. I found the other like specialty ones that are specifically for aquariums, but they're usually like 20 bucks a tube or something crazy. This one, getting it from Home Hardware, is relatively cheap. I think I buy these in like 3-packs for like 16 or 17 bucks. So I'm just going to go around and throw a bit of a bead around the 3 sides here. If you noticed before, I left that glass a little bit short because I'm going to put a screen section in here to leave a little bit of airflow. Now we're just going to lay some silicone in. And then the other thing I like to do is after I'm done, it's kind of squirting out on its own still. So you pop that tab off and release the pressure to prevent it from kind of self-feeding there. And I'm just going to drop this in there. I like to get it flush at the back. Let it come down and then just pivot it into place. Make sure it's making contact with the silicone all the way around. That's basically all there is to that. So for this screen, I'm using this stuff. It's the same stuff I used as the barrier layer for the 20-gallon build there, and it's just like fiberglass screen. Is buy it in the bulk roll from like Home Hardware or Rona or something like that. It's kind of a standard window screen. Place that, measure it to size. Try and put the straighter edge along the front here. Now I'm just going to run another bead silicone along the front here, and then a really thin little bead along the glass, and then just drop that mesh in place. I'm just going to run a thin bead along here. And then starting at the front here, just kind of like to slowly work it into the silicone. It is kind of sticky, so once you get it going, it will kind of hold it in place. Make sure you get the silicone kind of through the screen. Make sure the edges are filled in. And then the other thing I like to do for this is to use a bit of electrical tape. Just kind of measure out a strip like that. And then I'll lay that on. And I'm going to use that to kind of smooth this out. And I will take this silicone or this electrical tape back off when it's done. It's just going to really give you a nice, or it should, if I did this right, it should give you a nice clean, smooth bead there. It's going to look a little nicer than if I tried to do it all with my finger. Make sure this is still all in there, and that will basically be it. That's how you, well, that's how I install the glass tops on these Exo-Terra terrariums anyway. I think it says full cure in 24 hours, so I'm going to give it at least that long. Alright guys, so a few days later, didn't quite get to this as quick as I would have liked, but ready to try and finish her up today. The silicone is plenty dry, but see that electrical tape comes off of there nice and easy, and it makes a pretty nice finish there. I'm going to try and save some of this moss. I would like to add a little more substrate. So I'm going to take out these loose pieces. I'm going to try and pick up, a lot of this is like old leaf litter and stuff that's starting to grow these mosses. I really like the look of that stuff, so I'm going to try and save that and get as much as possible. So a little bit of fresh substrate. I'm going to try to bring up some of that old stuff. Mix it together. I do like to go a little bit higher than I want it to end up at, because it will sink down a little bit. But if you've done your soil mix properly, it really shouldn't compact too much. Spread this moss back around. That's going to be good for the moss, I think. So basically this is good to go, other than the misting nozzle. So I'm just going to do that. Here's our Mist King nozzle. Unscrew that nut there. When I get these glass pieces cut, this gap is determined by the size of these misting nozzles. Because I don't really like to drill glass, I just use this screen part here. I'm going to make kind of a X incision basically. I use these as a gasket. This is just a standard washer for like a garden hose, and they fit these things perfectly. That'll make a nice tight gasket. I put one on either side of the glass. Do make it a pretty tight fit. So that's going to sit in there. I'm going to stick the other washer on, and that's sealed up any gap from cutting that screen. That to tighten it down without worrying about cranking directly on the glass. Squish that rubber a bit. Just kind of line up your nozzle where you want it. That'll be good. Okay, so here's the Vivarium finished up on the shelf here. Just the one last step. I'm just going to show you how to hook the Mist King nozzle up. I'm just going to extend it from this tank here and end it on this one for now. Eventually it will go down this line when I get these other ones done. Okay, so the first step is just disconnect this one. Just using this tool that comes with the Mist King set. So you have to push this collar in and then pull the line out, just like that, and then same thing down here. Pull this little elbow out. That's all there is to that. And so we're just going to replace that elbow with a T instead. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and then that gets pushed into there. And then we're just going to cut a new piece of line. This elbow is going to get moved to the other tank, and then we'll just run a new line from there to there. So the nozzle on the new tank here, it's going to click that into place. So for the new line here, I'm using this stuff. It's not the official Mist King hose. I got this stuff on Amazon. I think it was about 1/3 of the price of the Mist King hose. It seems to do just fine. I'm already using quite a bit of this because I used up the hose that came with the kit pretty quickly. Pretty standard size hose. The one thing I would say is make sure you use something that's opaque. If you have a clear hose running there, you could run into issues with like algae and stuff growing inside the lines. And for this stuff, because it is running close to the lights and everything, you definitely want to use something that's opaque. So basically I'm just going to kind of roughly measure out this gap, cut this piece to size. So in order to cut this, using the same tool with this snipper, I find these work a lot better than using like scissors or something. Scissors are going to kind of pinch this down. It's not going to leave a very nice cut, and it's going to compress it a little bit, and then it's not going to fit and make a very good seal in these, and you might end up with some leaks. So definitely recommend using something like this to cut this tubing. So I like to stick one end in first. It's kind of in place. Just kind of roughly measure up that gap. Remember to give it a little bit extra because it does have to slide in there. So just cut that and stick that in there, and that'll be good to go. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. This guy's pretty much good to go. Got the line set up in there. still a little sparse. I like to plant them pretty sparse to begin with, and then kind of let them grow in and prune them as I like. This one here, I know I started the video talking about this one. Still waiting on a couple things. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought. And once I started editing this one, I realized it was already plenty long enough. So I'm going to finish this one up in another video. This one you can see doesn't have the sides or the background done yet, so I'm going to use this one to kind of show you guys how I do that. So yeah, this guy's basically done. Just waiting for him to grow in. Stay tuned to see the finished product of this one. You can see it looks a lot different than what it did before. I have been working on it. I do have another video coming up about misting. There's going to be a couple other instructional videos in the works here. Another aquarium update coming up pretty soon here. So a lot to look forward to, guys. So subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. And I hope you learned a thing or two from that, guys. And thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Happy frogging.